Alrighty guys, here we go. We are moving forward with our ACT math practice on question number 31. And we've got a couple options for this question. We can either use our pick a number strategy and back solve, or we could turn this equation to a graph. Why not graph it? We can go y equals clear, and I'm gonna just put this in exactly how it looks. Well, not all of that. I'll put in this part into the graph. So I need a fraction, option 1 over x plus fraction 3 over 4. And I'll look at what the graph looks like when x is greater than 0. So I'm not going to look at anything to the left of my y-axis. I want x greater than 0. So just this side. So this blue curve here. And now I'm going to look at my answer choices and see which one of them gives me a graph that's a match. So answer choice A says fraction, option 1, numerator is just 4, denominator is 4x. Look at the graph. Oof, close but not it. A is not the answer. Oh wait, that was B. My bad, that was B. Let me check A. Change the 4 to a 3 and look at the graph. Oh, well, still not quite it. Cross it out. Y equals, numerator changes to 4 plus 3x over 4x. Graph. Do you see how my graph went exactly on top of the other graph? Well, we found a match by using the graphing calculator. Well, we didn't have to do any math. We just had to type it in. We had to know how to type it in on the calculator. We can try option D. That says just a 4 on the top, so delete that. Over 4 plus x. Graph is even farther off than A and B. And then E, numerator is 4 plus 3x over 4 plus x. Way even farther off. I love it when I can do that with a calculator. I don't know, I get so happy. I guess because I haven't used these calculators personally in, I don't know, like 25 years. So anytime I can do something on the calculator, I get all excited. Okay. Another way to solve this would be your pick a number strategy. So I'm going to pick a number and I'm going to say x equals 12, okay? So no matter what x I'm looking at, x has to be equal to 12, all right? So we're going to say fraction 1 over 12 plus fraction 3 over 4 is 5/6. I get 5/6. And we already know that A and B are not the answer, so I'm going to go all the way to C, put in another fraction. Numerator says 4 plus 3 times x, but instead of x we're putting 12. Why? Because we picked a number. We picked 12. and the denominator 4 times 12. And look at that, equivalent fraction. We know we got the answer. 2 ways on the calculator, either by equivalent graphs or equivalent fractions. And then we're going to keep moving forward to question number 32. If the cosine of A is 4/5 and the sine of A is 3/5, then what is the tangent of A? Anytime you see your sine, cosine, tangent, right, we're thinking about a right triangle. And these are ratios for our sides. So it doesn't necessarily mean that the sides are exactly 3, 4, and 5, but there's going to be some sort of ratio to 3, 4, and 5. So sine, cosine, tangent, those words are in the middle of your calculator, sine, cosine, tangent. And when I'm reading them, I say so, ka, toa. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse, cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, tangent is opposite over adjacent. Okay, so if the sine of angle A is 4/5, sine of angle A is 4/5. So let's call this one A. So the sine of A, the opposite, is 4, where the hypotenuse across from the 90 is 5. And the cosine of A is, the cosine of A was 4/5. I put my A in the wrong spot. My bad. Cosine is adjacent. Well, not drawn to scale. Cosine of A is 4/5, and the sine of A is 3/5. You can see now what I did, right? I put the A in the wrong spot because I was reading sine and cosine backwards here. So our sides are 3, 4, and 5. Then our tangent of A is opposite over adjacent. So opposite of A, across from it, we have a 3. And adjacent, we have a 4. So that's our answer, 3/4. And the reason why this worked, why it was so simple, sine of A, 3/5, adjacent, 4/5, is that our hypotenuse, our ratio, we had a 5 for the denominator of both. If one of these 5s would have been a 10 or something, we would have to rewrite the sides with equivalent fractions, with equivalent denominators. But they gave us kind of like the easy mode here, so we were able to get to the answer pretty quick. Question number 33 says, in the XY coordinate plane, what is the y-intercept of the line 5x plus 3y equals 8? And this is a linear equation in standard form. So you would know that your y-intercept is when x is 0, right? So all that's 0. So 3y equals 8. What's y when x is 0? We're going to find out. You just divide both sides by 3 to make your 3's cancel to a 1, which is a sneaky ninja who goes invisible mode. Y equals 8/3. We've already got the answer. Or you could rewrite it to slope-intercept format. you could say 5x plus 3y equals 8. And isolate your y, subtract the 5x from both sides. 3y equals negative 5x plus 8. Divide everything by 3. And now you have your slope-intercept form. Y equals negative 5/3 x plus 8/3. Y equals mx plus b. Your y-intercept is 8/3. Either way, same answer. Question number 34 says, if a to the power of x over a to the power of y equals a to the power of 4 for all equations where a does not equal 0, which of the following must be true? Well, we had this on another question, something kind of similar. Where was that? Question number 13, if you watched that video, a little bit similar, kind of a similar rule, right? Since these polynomials, these monomials here, whatever you want to call them, they have the same base raised to the power of an exponent. What's the rule? A to the power of x over a to the power of y. If you want to move the bottom to the top, you would subtract it by y, subtract y. And then all of this at the bottom becomes a to the power of 0, which is just equal to 1. So this is telling us a to the power of x minus y equals a to the power of 4. That's telling us that x minus y equals 4. Answer choice J. And that's the definition of simplifying a polynomial using exponent rules. And question number 35 says, in a certain music store, CDs were put on display and assigned prices for May. Each month after that, the price was 20% less than the price for the previous month. If the price of a CD was D dollars in May, what was the price in August? So May, it's D dollars. June, July, August. So every month you're getting a 20% discount. So you're paying 80%. So June, it's 80% of D. July, 80% of 80% of D. And then August, 80% of 80% of 80% of D. Something like this. And I'm just going to put that right in the calculator. 0.8 times 0.8 times 0.8, 8 tenths times 8 tenths times 8 tenths is 512 thousandths D, and that is an answer choice. So number 35, C is our correct answer. And then number 36 says, if the absolute value of 5 minus 2x is greater than 5, which of the following is a possible value of x? So we need it to be greater than 5. Well, I can just put in my absolute value. Math, absolute value. Find that on your calculator. 5 minus 2 times answer choice A is 2. 1 is not greater than 5, so 2 is not the answer. Pull it back up with the entry. Change that 2 to a 3. That is not greater than 5. Pull it back up. Change that 3 to a 4. Still not greater than 5. Probably the 6, so the biggest one. Pull it back up. Change that 4 to a 5. Is equal to 5, but 5 is not greater than 5. One more time. Change that 5 to a 6. And there we go. 7 is greater than 5. Knowing how to use your calculator is a good way either if you need to solve it or to check your answer for this type of question. If you were solving this the algebra way, you would take your absolute value, 5 minus 2x is greater than 5. Split your inequality, your absolute value inequality off into two inequalities. 5 minus 2x is greater than 5, and 5 minus 2x something negative 5. Whenever we bring a negative to the inequality party, the inequality flips around. Solve both sides for x. Negative 2x is greater than 0. X is greater than 0. Negative 2x is less than negative 10. Divide both sides by negative 2. What happens when we bring a negative to the inequality party? Flips around. 10 divided by 2. 5. We would need a number that is greater than 5 here to be true. It'd have to be greater. 0 greater than 5. Oh, what did I do here? Oh, less than 0. My bad, less than 0. I forgot when I brought my negative to my inequality party. I forgot to flip. We would need x less than 0. Or x greater than 5, right? Because these ones were greater than 0 and they didn't work. But x greater than 5, when x was 6, it did work. Okay. Oof. Number 37. What value of t will satisfy the equation 1/10 of the sum of t and 3,420 equals back to t? I'm going to back solve. I'm going to guess and check. So I'm going to say 1/10 times, instead of putting t, I'm going to try answer choice A. Negative 3,420 plus 3,420. That does not equal back to negative 3,420. So A is not the answer. Try B. Says negative 313.64 hundredths. Enter. Ooh, that was pretty close, but not quite it. B is not the answer. C is the same thing, but positive instead of negative. I'm gonna delete that negative sign. Enter. Nope. Looks similar, but not it. D. We're gonna try just 342. 42. Delete. Plus 3,420. Not quite it. And we'll try the last one. 380. Enter. Equals back to 380. We found our answer by back solving. Guess and check. There we go. Question number 38. What is the slope of any line parallel to the y-axis in the xy coordinate plane? This is kind of a definition. So think about it. You have your x, y coordinate plane. There's x, there's y. Any line that's parallel to the y-axis is going to be like my dotted line here, a straight up and down line where you have, it could be x equals, maybe that's a 4, whatever. To find a slope here, right? Your slope is your rise over run. So no matter how much we go up, when we go up 1, we're going over 0. And what happens when you try to divide anything by 0? Go up 1, over 0. Oof, doesn't like that. What if it was 5, up 5, over 0? Again, it's undefined. The calculator's never going to let you divide anything by 0. So it's undefined. That's the definition of a vertical line. The slope is undefined for any vertical line, a straight up and down line. Question number 31 says, which of the following lines has the smallest slope? Well, we can look at A, B, and C if you're thinking about your famous formula for linear equations. What's that formula? Y equals, right? They start off with a Y equals mx plus b, where what letter is your slope? The m. So we can see an invisible sneaky. Oh, it won't let me highlight that. It says, Mrs. Cameron, you've done enough highlighting for the day. Ooh. So that one there, our slope is 1. This one here, our slope is 2. This one here, our slope is 1/2. And these ones, they didn't isolate the y, so you got to divide by 5. 15 divided by 5 is 3, and 3 divided by 7 is 3/7. And which of these is the smallest slope? Well, these are both proper fractions, so it's going to be one of those. What's less, 1/2 or 3/7? 0.5 is greater than 0.4, so our smallest slope is at E. And then one more question for this video, and then I'll get me some more water again and get this uploaded for you guys. Number 40, Amy can run 3.5 miles in X minutes. At that pace, how many minutes would it take her to run 10.5 miles? So I'm going to look at this as miles per minute. So she can go 3.5 miles per X amount of minutes. Equals, I'm going to set up a proportion, equals 10.5 miles to how many minutes? How do we turn 3.5 to 10.5? 10.5 divided by 3.5, you multiply by 3. If the numerator got multiplied by 3, then the denominator does the same thing. 3 times x is 3x, and that's our answer to question 40. And I'm off to my break. I am rooting for you in your ACT test. I really hope that this has been helpful, and I will catch you later on the next video.